Hey guys, Mark McMahon Real Estate. Today I want to talk about the timeline for a flip. There's going to be a lot of steps involved in this, guys. I just want you to be aware of what those steps are. We're going to hit on each one, and I want you to pay attention really closely because missing one of those steps can cost you money. All right, so let's jump right into it. Step number one is finding the property, right? You got to find the property first. Once you've found that property, the second thing you want to do is your due diligence, okay? That's number two, is DD. What does that mean? All right, that means you're going to comp the property. You're going to find out what it's worth. You're going to find out approximately what the repairs are going to be and what your sales costs are going to be and all the things that are involved in the deal that cost you money, all right? You're going to do your due diligence. All right, number three, based on the criteria from your due diligence, you're going to make your offer. And that is your best offer, all right? The offer that is going to allow you to make the most money and still get the deal. Okay, number four is enter escrow. Escrow. What that means is you've made your offer, they've accepted it, you now have a contract with them, a sales agreement, you're going to go into escrow. Number five, this is your inspection. So this is when you're going to go in. So for myself, I actually do my own inspections because, well, I used to be a contractor. And generally speaking, I'll go to the property one more time if I have time, if I'm buying from a wholesaler. Generally, you buy it, it's yours. But if you're buying it from the MLS like we do most of our deals, we have a short inspection period of a day or two where I go back and I go over the property at length and find out everything that needs to be done. If my contractor is in the area, I will have him meet me there. Otherwise, I just do it myself. I highly suggest in the beginning that you either have an inspection done by a professional or have your contractor, your trusted contractor, go with you for this, all right? So that's the inspection phase. Number six is the scope of work, all right? You've done your inspection. Now you're going to put together a scope of work, and that is SOW. Now, what that means is you're going to put together a detailed list of what needs to be done to the house to get it to the shape that you want it to be in when you sell it. So those are all the construction things you're going to do. Cabinets, countertops, floors, light fixtures, switch plates. I put everything on there and I have my contractor put a price on it. Now generally I know all those prices at this point because we do so many projects, but if you're just beginning, make sure your contractor gives you a price for every single item and start keeping track of those costs. Build a spreadsheet like I've never done, and then you'll have all those prices at hand on the next inspection, the next scope of work, all right? Number seven, I want you to put all of your numbers together. Now this includes your construction costs, cost of money, holding costs, closing costs, selling costs when you're done, utilities. All those numbers have to go together so that you've got a final number at the end of what it's going to cost to do this project. All right, number eight, I want you to put together a timeline. Why is this so important? Guys, it's going to be really important because you want to make sure that everything goes according to plan, even though it probably won't. As you get better at this, you're going to be able to do a pretty concise timeline. Timeline means construction time, time to get permits, time to get plans done, time to have the utilities turned on, time to have new meters set. All of these things have to be on a timeline so that you know exactly what you need to do from week to week. All right, so along with your scope of work, you're going to have to also put a timeline together so that you can easily follow that. Remember, guys, we're already in escrow, right? So the next thing you need to do is gather your funds, whether you're going to use private money, hard money, or a bank loan or savings. You're going to put all that together. Now I use private money for everything. I'm kind of known as a private money guy. Been doing it for 12 years. We've raised over $10 million and I fund everything that way. So whatever you decide to do, that's what you need to do right now is get your money together. All right, so number 9 is money. Need to get the money together. Number 10, Here's the exciting part and the most frightening thing you'll ever do in your life. Next to getting married, you're going to close escrow. What exactly does that mean? That means exactly that now you own that property, okay? Now you might have loans against that property, but that property is now, for all intents and purposes, yours. Now the work begins. All right, number 11 is, plans and permits if necessary. Now, not every job is going to need plans and permits. In fact, most of the jobs we take on now, we don't do plans and permits, mostly because it takes so long for that process. It can take an extra 30 to 90 days just for a simple rehab permit. If you're doing new construction, it can take longer than that. If you're doing all new construction, like in other words, a ground up build, it could take a year just to get plans and permits. So pick your projects wisely, talk to the city beforehand, before you close escrow, and find out what their timeline for that completion is. Very important. If it's 3 to 4 months, you need to have another 3 to 4 months interest for the money that you're borrowing for this project. If that's the case, you need to make sure that you've still got enough profit. All right, number 12 is construction start. All right, what does that mean? That means you're dropping off the contractor, you're dropping off the materials, or whatever the case may be, you're going to start work on the house. This is a momentous occasion. This will be the beginning of probably a lot of headaches to begin with, but it will get better over time as you learn the construction process. You're going to need to be on the job site as often as possible in the beginning. Now, I know a lot of you are doing stuff like this out of state. That's why I suggest, if at all possible, you do the first couple projects close to home, and then you get gutsy and start doing things out of state. Although I know people that start out of state and do just fine. But it is a little bit harder to keep track of things if that's the case. So anyway, this is number 12, start of construction. Number 13, obviously, is end of construction. What does this mean? All right, guys, this means the construction's done. You're going to do a final walkthrough with your contractor. He's going to come back and fix all the stuff that you found that he didn't do before. And the best contractors miss tons of things. No big deal. It's part of the process. There's going to be a lot of going back and forth about what was included in the bid, what wasn't included in the bid. That is why scope of work is so important. That needs to be part of your contractor's bid. All right, you give him that scope of work and you say, this is part of your contract. When you bring me back your contract or your bid, I want this attached to it. I want it referenced. Okay, because what's going to happen is they're going to leave things out and it's going to become what we call an extra. And extras will kill your deal. So you need to get really good at doing your scope of work and including that in the contract and make that part of the contract. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope you do that every single time. Do not jump the gun and get started on construction before you've got a complete scope of work and a concise construction contract. All right, number 14, we are going to list this bad boy for sale. So, before you started this project, you did your comps. You comped all the properties in the area. You know what this property is worth. Well, guys, that was 4 or 5 months ago. Okay, so the amount of time it takes to do the flip could be a couple of months, but it might be 4 or 5 months, whatever the case may be. Probably a little bit longer in the beginning. So that can work for you or against you. In an appreciating market, you're going to want to recomp that property because it could be worth quite a bit more. The other thing that can do too when you recomp is find out if maybe the prices have gone down or the market's stagnated. So you're going to find out how many days on market the average property is also. You're going to want to find out how long these properties took to sell, because that's going to enter into exactly how much more money you're going to have to spend on interest as that property sits there and sells. So recomp your property right before you list it. Number 15 is the best part. You're going to take offers. You're going to accept one of those offers. You're going to go through another escrow. and you're going to sell that property. And in the end, you should be collecting a nice big paycheck. I will be honest with you. That's the be-all end-all right there, guys. Selling that property. Guys, you should be looking for properties during this entire process so that you can keep that supply chain going. You want to keep that pipeline full. Having private money will allow you to do that. Now, if you're using bank loans and if you're using hard money lenders may not want to lend on more than one property in the beginning. Banks probably won't for sure. So that's why it's so important to learn how to use private money. Number two, guys, this is a wonderful business, but it is still a business. So remember, as you're doing these flips, set aside a certain amount of your profits so that you can buy properties. This will do two things. Number one, it'll set up your retirement. Number two, it'll offset taxes. So all the money you're making flipping, you're going to pay a lot of taxes on. Owning rentals will offset some of those taxes. It will also, like I said, build your retirement. So important to do this. You want to grow your retirement account and you want to grow your income. One helps the other helps the one. So keep going, keep moving forward, keep doing this for the rest of your life, or at least until you can retire. And take a screenshot because that's exactly what the flip steps are. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Please take action. Get out there and buy some properties. Flip them. Buy and hold them. Make your life better. Start today. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel and sign up for notifications. Allie gets a hell of a kick out of that. I'll see you next time.
There you go.